I'm going to try to bring to you this evening, um, hopefully a message. And I hope this message travel all over the world. And this message is, I was supposed to did it yesterday, and I don't know, when I tried to come back on here for the 444, and I don't know, that kind of got a hold of me yesterday, and I didn't come back on here. And then when I turned around and tried to come back on here, and I seen the 1111, I was like, oh my God, what in the world? Let me get me up here and do this video. And so now, this is something that I dedicate all over the world, but most importantly, I dedicate it to my family. I'm not really sure where to begin with it, but I always know that when you start talking, God leads you the rest of the way, especially me. And so I want to talk about my brother's keeper, because you see, 7 years ago, I lost my son. And when I lost my son, it turned my family upside down, because we're talking about a family that was very close, a family that was raised by a single parent, which was myself. They interacted from time to time with their dads or what have you, but it's not about, it's kind of about that too, because the fathers, by them not being in the home and not stepping up to the responsibilities that they had, I really truly believe that my kids may have turned out a lot better than they were, or shall I say, a lot better than they are. But I did my very best with my kids, and my kids are wonderful children, from what I'm told. And yeah, but every kid got a little mean streak in them. Every kid got a bad streak in them. You see, my journey started when I was told in juvenile court in Sacramento, California, to take my children to Illinois to hopefully try and work something out with their father. They had to clarify that that is exactly what he was going to do once I got out there, because the attorney had to talk with him before they would allow me to even go to Illinois to find a place for my children to reside, because I had a lot of kids, so therefore I had a big family, and I couldn't just jump up and just think about the motion or the move for over one child. I had to think about where were me and all of my children going to stay when we got there. So lo and behold, God blessed me to be able to go to a person that I knew nothing about, that rented out a one bedroom to me. Well, actually a one room. And so it started from that point. And so once I came back and got my children from Sacramento, I went to I went to Illinois from Sacramento, to Champaign, Illinois. And when I got to Champaign, Illinois, my children bonded with other kids. But see, the laws in Champaign, Illinois was quite different than the laws in California, because California believe not in leaving no kids behind when it comes to education. They force education upon you. And if your parents can't seem to send you to school, by golly, they'll make sure that your parents get handcuffed to you in the school. And I like that about them, because there was no slipping and going in the front door and coming out the back, and there was no dropping out of school when you felt like it. Unlike Illinois, you can drop out of school at the age, I believe, 15, if I can get some amens out there. Okay, so when my journey started, it was so different. All of us was taken out of a environment that we were so accustomed to being in, and this lifestyle that we were so accustomed to living. And one day my son came to me and he said, Mom, why you take us from being rich to being poor? I started laughing. I'm like, we ain't never been rich. It's just that they have more to offer you in California than what they do in Illinois. And so it went from that to that and that. And so you see, my son ended up in prison a couple of times. And when he got out of prison, I think that third time, he made it up in his mind, as he had already created his own family, that he wasn't going back to jail, and he was going back to prison, and he was going to figure out how to make it on the outside world and how to be there. He wanted to be the father that his father wasn't to him. Lord, have mercy, help me when I say this. But then, I said, he was telling me these things, and I was saying, well, you've always been a good father. He said, yeah, but I got to try to keep myself out of prison, and I know it could be done, Mom. Watch and see. I'm going to make you proud of me. He did. He did just that. He went, he got him a job, he started working, he loved his job. He ended up getting fired because he loved rice, and somebody's rice came up missing at lunch, and he said, Mom, look, I keep money. My girlfriend comes to take me to lunch every day. Why would I steal somebody's lunch? So he ended up taking them to court and won it. He went out to celebrate. He didn't just won a victory with them kicking him off his job wrongfully. They rehired him back on the job, and they gave him a promotion to prove that, everybody make mistakes, And he was at that prime life of his moment. He was at that prime time of his life. At that moment, he went out and he celebrated getting a promotion, celebrating the victory and win over his adversaries and his oppression, and the fact of him finally getting that breakthrough to stay out of prison. And so I tell you, when he went to celebrate, that was the last time we ever heard anything pertaining to him, except for when he passed away, and it was, to get that call to come and identify the body and everything. I wasn't in Illinois. I was still in California, still fighting my battles with my health at that time. And so when they gave me the news, oh God, my father was very good and gentle to me, because I tell you, he had to keep me on pause at that time. I was on pause. I couldn't cry. I couldn't holler. I couldn't, but my body was automatically void, because you see, I was void because I carried that son for 9 months, and I gave birth to him 18 hours of going through labor. I gave birth to him, and for someone to take his life for such a petty reason that he died while he was out celebrating, I understood then what it meant for parents to stop the violence on gun violence and all that stuff. But controlling the guns were not a solution, because guns do not kill people. People kill people, and people need to start opening their eyes up to see the hurt and the pain and the sorrow that they cause everybody when they go through this. All the loved ones on both sides suffer behind it. But you see, the moral of this story is, we didn't only suffer from losing the loss of our loved one. We suffer behind truly expressing what it feels like to lose a loved one. It was our first time ever losing a close loved one. Now, we lost their grandmother and their grandfather, my mom and my dad. That was quite different. I lost a son at the age of 10 months. He didn't live long enough for me to become attached to him. But 30 years, you're pretty attached. So my family, you see, they tend to be going through some type of hurt and pain, to the point where they're not looking clear, they're not thinking clear, and all they're doing is bickering and getting mad and showing and expressing their emotions to each other, when they still got each other that they're going to have to lean on. And you see, my mission with that is, I'm working with this family to try to bring this family back together like it once was before he passed. I understand their hurt, I understand their pain, but they got to realize that through it all, they only got each other. And if I can get them back on track, I thank my father most gratefully for being there in the midst of it, which I already know he's in the midst of it. And I already know he's going to bring it, he's going to put us back together like we was. But see, my father said, you got to first do what your assignment consists of. All of that other stuff will come later. Because you see, when Jesus was out doing his ministry of healing and carrying on, the friend that he had, the daughter, I think I'm telling it right, the daughter's daughter was dying or something like that, and they went to find Jesus. No, the brother Lazarus was dying, and they went to find Jesus. But by the time Jesus went, he said, let the dead bury the dead. But he did turn away once he got through and went. Lazarus was dead, but he brought him back. And see, that's why my family is right now. My brother's keepers, my family is dead right now, but they need to be brought back. I ask each and every one of you to pray for me and my family. Peace, love, and light to you. Love and light to all of you. I love you unconditional, and to the Most High God. This is my story to you.